Algebra 2, Section 6.3, we're dealing with dividing polynomials. Now this is your last section before your 6A test. This is the most difficult section. So last section you did adding, subtracting, and multiplication. So you did all the distributions, you combined like terms. This one is a little bit different. When you deal with division, there are different ways according to how the problems, the way that they give you those problems. Unfortunately, you'll be given 3 example problems, so I can make sure you can do all 3 different steps. Now the first one is the simplest division problem you'll get. And what I mean is, what it's being divided, okay? Now this can be written like this, or it can be written like this. Divided by 5ab. So it's the same way that it's written, okay? So, now, in this case, because this has no plus or minus, that's the best way. When it has a plus or minus, then we're going to have to go into long division and synthetic division, and I'll go ahead and show you how to do that. So, in order for me to do this, is I just take this and I'm going to give it to every term. Now remember, each term is separated by the subtraction or addition sign. So it's going to look like this: a squared b over 5ab. And I keep everything. 15ab cubed over 5ab. And plus 10a cubed b to the 4th over 5ab. Right? Now once I do this, this becomes all the stuff from section 6.1 when you're simplifying. And then you just treat it as 3 different problems that are collected is your answer. So basically 5 divided by 5 is 1, so that cancels out. A2 minus A1, okay, is positive A. Since it's positive, it goes on top, and this cancel out. So I have nothing on the bottom except 1. Right? 15 and 5, so this cancels out. This is 1 and this is 3, so 3 goes on top. A1 to A1, they cancel out to be 1. Okay? And then B3 and B, this is B to the first, so it gives me B to the second, and since it's positive, it goes up here. The next one is 10. This is 1 and this goes 2, so this is 2. And then this is A to the third and A to the first. And so this gives me A to the second, and A to the second is positive, so again it goes on top. And this is B to the fourth and B to the first. 4 minus 1 is 3. B to the third, and this is positive, so it goes over here. So since there's nothing in here, since there's only 1s on the bottom, my answer will be A minus 3b squared plus 2ab cubed. Okay? So all you need to do is take it and distribute it under each one. Once you distribute it under each one, then you just treat it as the problems from 6.1, and then you should have an answer. If there's some on the bottom here, or if you have negative exponents, remember it goes on the bottom. This is okay. This still happens if there's nothing on the bottom, so you're fine. And this is your answer. And this is only because what it's being divided by has no plus or minus in the equation. Now, when we do, it gets more complicated. So go ahead and write this down. Don't forget your vocabulary. Write this down. And you're going to be dealing with something that looks like this. Okay? Which basically means that you're dealing with, this has now a plus or minus. So I can't just do x squared minus 2x minus 15 divided by x minus 5. I can't just put this under each one because this has a subtraction in it. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do long division. And basically, do you remember this sign right here? This is not square root, by the way. Remember in elementary where you did division, and it's basically similar, it's the same thing. X squared minus 2x minus 15. That goes down here, and this is x minus 5. Now, in order for me to do this, all I need to do is focus on the first letter. Okay, the first term. In order for me to turn x into x squared, so remember when you were doing this, you focused on each one. So 2, what do I need to multiply 2 by to get 8? And that's 4, right? What do I need to multiply x by to get x squared? Well, in this case, is x. Okay? But the problem is, I have that -5. So when I multiply it by the x, because I have to keep everything balanced, I have to multiply it by the -5 also. So this x needs to be over the second term. Because when I multiply, it's going to reach this way. So then I'm just going to multiply. I'm just focusing on the first one. It just so happens that this is going to follow. X times x is x squared. X times -5 is -x. Sorry, -5x. And then just like long division, right? 2 times 4 is 8. And then I bring, this is 0, and I bring down 5. In this case, this is 0, okay? And here I'm subtracting. So -2 minus a negative is positive. So -2 plus 5x, because these are like terms, is positive, -2 plus 5x would be positive 3x. And I'm going to bring down the -15. This is very important because let's say there's no x and it's just 15, then I have to put a 0 in. So it has to go in order. I always have to put a 0 if there's something missing, but it needs to go in order. And I do the same thing. I'm going to focus on the first term. I'm going to focus on x and 3x. What do I need to do to make x look like 3x? Okay, what do I need to multiply? Well, not another x, but a positive 3. Right, because I need to make it 3. So x plus 3. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times -5 is -15. So 3x minus 15, this gives me 0. That means I have no remainder. So my answer is x plus 3. What this means is I've worked backwards. That means if I did x minus 5 times x plus 3, if I distributed this and solved it, it should give me this answer, right? Because this divided by this gives me this, and that is long division. Now, long division can only be done if this number, the coefficient in front of it, is 1. If it has something other than 1, then we have a problem, and I'll show you how to do that next in the synthetic division. So go ahead and write this down. And we have one more problem. Now, we have synthetic division here. The thing with synthetic division is that you can use it even instead of long division. So long division has its limitations. Synthetic division, you can use all the problems for long division. It's kind of like the quadratic formula for division problems. Okay? But in this case, what you're going to do for synthetic division is the ones with a 2 or a letter in front of the letter here in the what you're dividing by. If it's bigger than 1, this is something other than 1, then you can't use long division. You have to use synthetic division. What you do here is your first step is to write the coefficient. Okay, so your first step is to write the coefficient. The coefficients are the numbers in front of the letters. Now, the problem is this goes from y to the 4th to y to the 5y. So what I need to do is I need to insert something. I need to insert a number here. So, basically, I need to change this to 4y to the 4th plus 0y to the 3rd minus 5y squared plus 2y plus 4. Because it needs to go 4, 3, 2, 1, 4. I mean 0. There's no y here. Okay, so the powers have to go in a row, and if there's one missing, I have to put it in there. Okay, so after that, then I can write the coefficients. And basically, the coefficients are only the numbers in front. So 4, 0. -5, 2, 4. Right? Now, I need to find what goes here. And basically, what I need to do is if, for example, we were doing long division here, if I had a problem like this, and I'm trying to use synthetic division, all I need to do is take this number and find the opposite. What is the opposite? Well, in this case, it would be positive 5 because this number is negative 5. But in this case, I have a 2 in front of it. So all I need to do is, my second step is find what I divide by. Basically, I'm going to take this number and I'm going to divide. So it's going to be negative 1/2 right here, because if I divide by 2, this cancels out. So whatever this number is, I'm going to divide so that it cancels out, and I'm left with it here. But I find the opposite. So instead of negative 1, I'm going to use positive, 1/2. And that goes here. So step 2, I need to find this number right here. Step 3, I'm going to then divide. Take this line and put it right there. So let me show you what I do. In order to divide, I'm going to take this number, the first number, and I'm going to bring it down. Always bring down the first number. So this is 4. Okay? Once I have 4, I'm going to multiply it by that. Okay? So again, I'm going to take this number, bring it down, okay? Ooh. Oh, sorry. And then I'm going to multiply 1/2 times 4. Multiply. And then the answer goes here. Okay? So 4 times 1/2 is 2. And what I'm going to do there is then I'm going to add. Okay? So 0 plus 2 is 2. So in long division I subtract. In synthetic division I'm going to add. My next one, I do the same thing. I'm going to take it and I'm going to multiply and put the answer here. Okay, so 2 times 1/2 is 1. Okay, and then I'm going to again add. So negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. Okay, same thing one more time, or another time I'm going to multiply. And then I'm going to put the answer here. So negative 4 times 1/2 is negative 2. Then I'm going to add. 2 minus 2, 2 plus negative 2 is 0. And a final time I'm going to take this, going to go ahead and multiply and answer here. 1/2 times 0 is 0. So my answer down here is 4. Okay? Now my last step is to write the answer. So let me explain, before I write the answer, let me explain to you what I did as a review. I took the first number and I brought it down. Every number down here is going to be multiplied by this number, and this number I found by the opposite of the number, the equation I'm being divided by. So since this is a negative 1/2 after I've made this just y, okay, remember if there's no number in front of here, then I don't have to do this process. I just take that number. But because there's a number, I'm going to divide it, and it's negative 1/2, and I'm going to take the opposite, which is positive 1/2. Okay. Then I take the first number, which these are all the coefficients of this long equation, and this 0 comes from this right here because there's no there was no y cubed. And I brought it down and I multiplied it. 4 times 1/2 and it gives me 2. Then I add. 0 plus 2 is, 0 plus 2 is 2. Then I did it again, multiplied it by this, put my answer in the next one. Then I added this, gives me -4. I multiplied it again, put my answer on the next slot, added them, gave me 0. 0, this number then gets multiplied by this. I put the answer here and I added them and it gave me 4. Okay, so once I have these numbers, I have the answer. Now I just have to write it. And let me show you how to write it. Basically, I'm going to take this number and I'm going to put it next to the power 1 less. Because remember, when we did long division, okay, this is x squared and the answer started with an x. It's one one power underneath. So this becomes 4y to the cube because this has to the 4th. So 4y to the cube, and then I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to go down. Plus 2y squared plus, okay, the next one down is, oh, that's -4. So minus 4y and then plus 0. Alright? Now the problem is that this number right here, if it's not a 0, this is my remainder. Okay? So what that means is that remainder has to go back onto this original equation right here. So what it looks like is, instead of writing remainder 4, I'm going to put 4 and it's going to be over this equation. 2y minus 1. And this is indeed my answer. And I gave you one that hopefully wasn't as complicated. Number 11 is what you're going to do. Actually, let's do number 2 and try synthetic division for number 4. So do number 2, don't worry about long division, but do number 2 and synthetic division number 4. And then I will see you in class.